I call upon Dr. to honor our special guest with the show. It's a collective and individual responsibility to preserve and tend to the world in which we all live. Go green, there is no planet B. Now I request Dr. V. Subramanian sir to give away the can sampling to our special guest.
Very happy to welcome the resource person, the chief guest, Dr.SivaKumar Nallusamy, Associate Professor, Department of Biology from Oman. At this juncture, I want to share a few information about the resource person. He was my teacher, a best teacher, when I did BSc, MSc Microbiology from the year 1995 to 98 and 2000 teaching. So he was a great teacher, a very good guy, a friendly teacher, and sir, I didn't forget you because you did a lot in the, when I did a microbiology, BSc Microbiology and MSc Microbiology. Biorefinery compounds. Presently, he is working on the conversion of waste paper into biofuels, bioplastic, and other valuable products using refinery approach. He has a reasonable number of applications in both fermentation and bioactive compounds. A major achievement is the recipient of a major grant from the Research Council, Oman, Indian rupees worth 3.75 crores. Excuse you. from United Arab Emirates University. He has presented his research findings in various international conferences conducted all over the world. He is serving as a reviewer for many international journals. He has an outstanding teaching career. He has developed fermentation technological course for the final programs, and he was also the coordinator for BA-ON 2101 General Biology for 9 years. About his education, he did a PhD specialization in microbiology from Madras University, and it was completed in 2004. He has having a more number of research publications. He is having 54 number of referred journal publications, and he has presented 46 numbers of conference presentation. And about guidance scholars, he is guiding now 5 PhD scholars, and he is guiding postdoc 1. And about the major achievement made by him, he got Best Teacher Award the year 2015. So students may give a great amount of appreciation and he got Best Research Award in 2018, and he was organized 4 numbers of conference, and his main area of research is bioprocessing, biorefinery, and bioenergy, and microbial enzymes, as well as bioactive compounds. He is going to deliver a lecture on writing ways of his manager, a potential renewable feedstock for biorefinery approaches. So, such an eminent, excellent, and experienced person on the stage, so maybe use in the right place. Once again, welcome you.
Very good morning to everyone here. Thanks for Dr. Manikandan for giving me invitation to be here today at the JJ College of Arts and Science. And I am coming back here for an academic visit after a long time. Maybe I think 2 years back I visited here for a marriage function. Just for academic visit after a long time I am coming here. As he introduced me, maybe just I want to elaborate something. I started my teaching career in JJ College. So once I finished my MSc, I joined here as a lecturer in the year 1994. At that time, even the college was not here in this campus. It was there in, I think, on the way to Oman or someplace, somewhere. It sits inside the Sultan. The hostel was there. Actually, college was in somewhere else. We used to visit with the secretary sir for having the scheme with the construction, how it is everything going. Then, yes, we shifted in the first year of JJ. I think it started in 1993, January, JJ College. If I remember, my memory is correct. January 1993 they started. 94, mid of 94 we moved to this campus. So starting from 1994 I was here until 2007. 13 years I served here in this institution. I learned a lot here. I think at that time there was no biotechnology course, only microbiology. I think the ground floor, the G1 or G3, I don't know exactly. Microbiology, I first set the microbiology lab there, then they constructed the laboratory block, hotel management, just above the hotel management, first floor, we made another microbiology lab, then the lab was shifted to where it is now. So, I stayed a long time here, and I had a very good experience, and I had a bunch of students like Mani, and what I felt I blessed with a very good number of students. Even though I taught them maybe 15, 20 years back, still all are in touch with me. Not only money, there are people who are working inside India, outside India, all are in touch with this social media. Facebook, that also connected a lot. There are lot of alumni for this college. They are working through the world actually. So I don't know how they are conducting alumni every year meets. If you are searching somewhere, you can see people are working, studying in JJ College, they are working through the world. You can even approach them when you are applying for a job after finishing masters or after finishing PhD. You can search for the JJ College student, you can find everywhere, both microbiology and biotechnology students. Management was very cooperative when we were working here. They were encouraging the students, they were encouraging the staff to manage well and to update well in the research. Anyhow, these are all the past memories I have once I am visiting the institution. Well, 2007, I just left JJC for good. 1 year I worked in India. Then after that, 2008, I joined in Oman, Sultan Qaboos University as a faculty. And still now I am working, almost 11 years I am staying there. And I am working in the department of biology. There is no specialization like in microbiology or biotechnology there. It's general biology. And we have 25 faculty members there, each one with a different specialization. Maybe 2-3 are microbiologists and 2-3 are biotechnologists. Okay, just in this lecture coming to the main business. In this, just I would like to share what I am doing. That is the main thing I am going to do. Under the topic you might have seen, this topic is there is a potential renewable feedstock for biorefinery approaches. That is the talk I am going to give. And first, the outline of my talk, I am going to say something about my university where I am working, and after that I'll talk about the topic. So I am working in the university. It's not like in India, that is based on the US curriculum, and there is no affiliated colleges, nothing like this. University itself, it has all the disciplines. And we have the presentation. Okay, so the university that has engineering, medicine, arts, science, economics, law, nursing, everything under one campus. It's a very big campus. There are 17,500 students they are studying in the university. So it's not like our university is only post-graduation or graduation they are studying in the university. All the undergraduate courses they are giving to the affiliated colleges. No need of listening. If you want anything, you just interact with me. Nothing like just always maybe 1 hour, 1.5 hours listening. If you have questions, then you can ask. If you have please raise your hand and we will interact with you. Okay, always I prefer a dialogue. So this is the university, and I can identify these plantations, what are they? Date palm, dates. We are eating dates, no, all are date palms. They are surveying, growing well in the desert region. So most of the campus is greenish using the date palm. And you know very well that is a desert country, and we are recycling the sewage waters. Whatever the water, sewage water from the labs, everything, we are treating the sewage water and supplying to all these plants. So I think the central region is the administrative block. All these sidewise, all disciplines are coming. So this is the clock tower, main landmark in the university. And from the whenever somebody new people are coming, we used to give the direction from the clock tower. And this is the library. Actually, we have both cultural facility and the library together. If you want to study, students are same throughout the world. Okay, so library, where you find most of the students in library are in the cafeteria. Cafeteria, okay. So you can see plenty of students are sitting, chatting, coffee, tea, something snacks. But if you go there, very few are there usually. But it's a very good place to study. Okay, we are subscribing a lot of journals. The university is paying a lot of money for this subscription. So all the faculty in the university they can use. Each one we have the individual office. We can access all the journals in the world. And here if you go, they give the students accession. They can go and study. Actually, that block was inaugurated by the king, actually. That is not a democratic country, ruled by a sultan. And he came and he reopened, he inaugurated the building. And for his visit, we got something. Can you believe? Maybe there are 2,000 employees are there in the university. We got a very good amount, 1 month's salary after he visited. After 5 days, that was a surprise. In our bank account, something was credited. Then we went and asked, what is this one salary? So he told everyone just to pay 1 month's salary. They have to enjoy my visit. So that is the thing. There are some benefits of kingdom. Democracy, nothing will happen. Okay. Well, please. This is the administrative block. Whatever be the administrative thing, no need of going everywhere to do ourselves. Just to forms everything, we can give it to them. People are working. Whatever be that, if I want to go to another country, visa something, you give them, they process it. And only for the embassy we have to go. Visa renewal for the family, everything we hand over to them, they will do for us. Please. And this is just, I clicked this photo through my mobile. This is the deanship of research. From that, just I clicked the one. You can see plenty of cars are there. Is no public transport. If you want to go somewhere, you have to have a car. Otherwise, it will be difficult. You have to get a taxi. There are few public transport, but always we prefer to go by car. Why? Petrol is very cheaper. Okay. Not 76 rupees here, right? There it is almost 30 rupees, I think. Now they increase it. When I was joining 10 years back, it was less than 20 rupees. But now they learn from other countries, mostly from India. Okay, this king of the country, he was the student in India. He was studied in Pune. He studied in Pune. Do you know Shankar Dayal Sharma? Shankar Dayal Sharma. Proper president. He was his teacher, actually. Once he visited Oman once, and he was driving his teacher, actually. So, they every month, now like India, every day, they are changing the price every month. Anyway, petrol is very cheaper. You can just go like that. So everyone should have a car. Transport is easy if you are having a car. And this is the place where I am working, my building actually. This is a part of my college. And the ground floor we have a central facility, central analytical unit. So we have all the instruments there. Say NMR, XRD, XRF, scanning electron microscope, MALDI, So there are a list of instruments are there, and there is a common facility. If anybody would like to use that facility, you can use it. Students they want to use means being a supervisor, there is a form. I have to sign that form. Then students they can give their sample. For each instrument there is a technician. They do this if they are doing a project, and their results they send it to the student by mail and to the supervisor. So we have to sit and analyze the results. So that is in the ground floor. And the first floor full of for the biology department labs actually. So each faculty we have the individual labs. Our students can work in our lab. So it's not a teaching lab. Teaching lab it will be totally different. Individual labs we have. That is in the first floor. And I am sitting in the second floor actually. Second room of the second floor. That is my office. Well, this is the thing. And maybe one more information. Suppose if you want to apply masters or PhD, there is an option. Usually there is a scholarship they used to pay, but 3-4 years back they stopped the scholarship. If you are joining for a master, they welcome international students. Usually from Asian countries, people are coming and studying. From German or something, exchange program. One semester they come and study here, then they go back. Similarly, the students from the STU, they go to Germany 1 month, 1 semester, they study there and they will come back. Equivalent courses they have to take. And that is, curriculum is based on the US curriculum. It's like, not like here, no fixed classroom, no. Say if I am going, people from different disciplines, they come and sit in my class. Once I finish my lecture, they go, some they go to College of Science, some they go to Nursing, some they go to College of Medicine. It is like that. And similarly, one more thing is, if they fail in one subject, not like here, they have no way to write IES exam. Next semester they have to come and sit in the class for another 5 months, then only they can write the exam. So the undergraduate, some they finish at 4 years, some they finish at 6 years. It depends upon the performance of the student. Okay. Country is supporting them. Top 3% of the school students, they are admitted in the university. So teaching is easy for us. Very decent students, no issues, something. So that is the pleasant place to say. Suppose if you are going in future, if you want to apply nearby countries, it's not like US, Canada, UK, if you are planning, that is fine. But nearby means south side, eastern side, it is Malaysia, Singapore, or western side in Gulf, you can prefer Oman. Why I am saying the people are very friendly, they treat you equally. There are some Gulf countries, it's not like I am paying you, you are working under me. It's not like that, they are treating us equally. I can argue with them, I can just stand in my point, everything, they are very so much receptive. They receive the opinion from all. Well, this is just an introduction. That's what I am saying. Masters or PhD, suppose if you are applying, fine, you are welcome. But the problem is no scholarship now. Why the oil price in the international level went down? In India, we never feel the oil price going down. So maybe 4 years back, one barrel oil was $120 in the international market. Our petrol price was 72 rupees. So from $120 it came to $40 Then petrol price was in India, it was 70 rupees. Just 2 rupees they reduced it for $80. So here we didn't feel, but the economy is not that much steady like before in the Gulf countries. So they cut down the scholarship. If you have any family, friends or relatives something, it's better you can just apply that and you can get. Suppose if you are coming, if the scholarships are coming back, per month they pay you if you are joining in masters and if you are getting scholarship. They don't give scholarship for all. If you are good enough and your percentage is high, I think maximum per month 35,000 rupees they pay for you in the post-graduation. And for the PhD students, it is around 50,000 per month they pay. Okay, scholarship you can get. So chemical consumables, they give you separate amount. Okay, so they are motivating the students. It's not like India, right? We have human sources high here, and wherever you go, there is a competition, but the population is less there. So they are supporting a lot and they are admitting international students also. So if you have somebody in Gulf in Oman, you can apply for higher studies. Well, I'll come into the main story. So this is the fossil fuel and the biorefinery. What do you mean by fossil fuel refinery? What is the main energy source for the transport? We are getting from the crude oil, right? Crude oil, natural gas, and these coal. These three are the main sources. Actually, they are very essential for the sustainability of the modern life. We are getting energy for the transportation from the oil, and similarly, not only the energy, petrol, diesel, not only this, there are n number of products we are getting from the oil industry. Say, for example, plastic. Am I right? Everywhere we are using plastic. Now it is banned. Am I right? Wherever I am coming, not last year they are giving me carry bag everywhere. Now cloth bag they are giving. Why? We are throwing in the environment and dumping in the environment. They are not decomposing. Am I right? 2003, if I remember correct, I was the NSS program officer here. We went to the seashore, Katumavadi, that area, Malipatnam, something. Collector organized. So JJ College students, we went in 3 buses and we have collected almost 40 bags of plastics from the seashore, just thrown out like this. So we have collected. So the products, n number of products we are getting from the oil refineries, and these are all the byproducts and very cheaper, but we are using, and when we are throwing in the environment, they are causing a lot of pollution. So being a biotechnologist, being biologist, what we can do? We have to think for some remedy. What could be the remedy for this? What is the alternative source? We can go for biorefinery. Oil refineries, you know, just taking the oil, you are getting the fuel and you are getting the products out of this. How can we get it out of by using the biomass or biological thing? From biological thing, if you are getting fuel or the products, that would be called biorefinery. This is just a recently developing field. People are more attracted toward this, and this will cause the problem for the environmental pollution. So you can look at this picture from the plant. Actually, we can just take this one, and through the biorefinery mode, we can produce biofuel from this plant, and the remaining waste, whatever we are getting, or any other product, they are all biodegradable. So just waste management, we can solve the issue. we can reduce the pollution in the environment, and we can make more healthy environment for the future generation. So biorefinery concept that is useful for converting any waste into a valuable product. What do you mean by biomass? You might have started the labs, right? When you are growing, say for example, bacteria in a broth medium, if you want to isolate bacteria, what will you do? In a broth, bacteria is there. Already you are growing for 24 hours. How will you separate the bacteria? You can go for centrifugation or you can go for filtration, right? So that mass of cells you are getting, that is called biomass. That is in the case of microbes. But anything having organic content, carbon content, you can say it as a biomass. You can see there are different types of biomass you can get from the forest, from the agriculture, and from the sewage, municipal solid waste, from the animals, and also from other industries. So if they have an organic content or carbon content, we can make use of the biomass to produce the product. So what are all the biomass we can use as a feedstock? These are all the conventional biomass. Can you see? I have divided, not me. So universally it is divided into three types of biofuel they are producing: first generation, second generation, and third generation. You know, when all are using mobile, right? 4G. 4G means fourth generation. 5G now they are going. So like this, first generation biofuel, second generation biofuel. Now we are in the third generation. First generation, what we have used, only the food crops we have used for this. Food crops we have used. Okay, so what is the problem in this? I don't know. 2010 or 9, I don't know what you are studying. Definitely you were there in the schools. There was a food crisis. There was a recession in the world in 2009, I think. So, and there are a lot of countries in the African countries, like Somalia and other things, there was a food crisis. Why it happened? That is because of this issue. Biofuel, Western countries, they start to produce using their food crops. What are all the crops there? Corn, maize, sugar, wheat, everything they started to use. So there was a scarcity of this food. Lot of African countries, I think Somalia one, and what is the other one? This Ethiopia, there was a problem, but Somalia was the mostly affected one. Okay, so the food crisis started. So but they successfully got the biofuel, but they have to consume a lot of food materials. So the crisis started. Whether we can go for the biofuel or we can go for the food material. Can you identify who is there? If you read the news from your school days, you can identify. George Bush, yeah. I don't know, this is George Bush 1 or 2. Both father and son, they ruled the US. When he was ruling, he blamed, when food crisis happened, that is because of the biofuel research in the US. Okay? But he blamed India and China. What was the reason, you know? That was very funny. They are eating more. Chinese and Indians are eating more. That's why the food crisis happened. But the fact behind that was, US, they bought a lot of these products and they used it for corn and maize. They used it for the biofuel production. Okay. So what we can do? So there was a need to go for the alternative approach to produce biofuel. Cleaner environment we need means we have to move to the biofuel. So they start to look for other types of waste materials to produce. So the alternatives to what they found was the agricultural waste materials. Most of you are from the farmer family, right? So we are just cultivating the crops, harvesting the thing, the remaining thing we are throwing it as a waste. Sometimes some material, say paddy straw, that will be used as a food material for kettles. Other than that, just we are leaving it as a waste and we are throwing it in the environment, wood materials or straw or grass, everything. We don't bother about these things. But why don't we use this? Why don't we use this as a waste biomass just to produce biofuel and other products? So that was the thinking developed, and successfully they start to produce biofuel and other products out of this. So that is called a second generation biofuel. Third generation, then they start with the algae, growing algae, extracting the fuel from this, or genetically modifying the algae, they are extracted. But still, lot of scope with the second generation because that will solve lot of environmental issues. Well, three types of issues could be solved by the second generation materials for biofuel. One is cleaning the environment, and we are utilizing the waste and making the environment pollution free. So that is possible by using the second generation biofuel. What is the composition of plant? Can you tell me plant cell wall? What is the composition? What is the composition of bacterial cell? Sorry, I'm a teacher, no? Basically, so this is the way, always throwing questions. I hope you know the peptidoglycan, right? That is the major component in the gram-positive cell wall, and the lipopolysaccharide, that is the major component in the plant cell. When you go for plant cells, lignocellulose, that is the main component. So it composed of three components: lignin, cellulose, hemicellulose, all are there. So this is the waste material we are throwing. Why don't we use as a resource to produce the bioproduct? So that is the one. So that is the non-edible part of the plant. Edible part we are using for eating purpose. Non-edible part. And this is the lignocellulose, the most abundant carbon source on the earth. Don't think starch. There are plenty of plants, right? Am I right? Plants are the next to microbes. The number of plants are more. So when you take the plants, all are doing the photosynthesis and they are all storing the starch. But don't think starch is the largest carbon source available on the earth. No, cellulose is the carbon source. Why? Each cell in the plant, cell wall is made of cellulose. So that is the abundant carbon source. And we don't care about this carbon source. So people, they started to use the cellulose material to produce the product. You can see it's approximately around 200 million metric tons per year cellulose we are getting out of the plants. Then, and this can be used as a feedstock. And similarly, it's a waste material. So how much you have to pay for this, it will be very less. So based on this, the lignocellulose was targeted as a feedstock for the biorefinery products. You can see the composition, as I told you, just on the top there are different lignocellulosic biomasses are there. And you can see cellulose is the major component in the lignocellulosic biomass. Almost 35 to 50% cellulose will be there. Similarly, 20 to 35% hemicellulose will be there. Lignin is the less one, actually. 15 to 25% lignin will be there. So here, cellulose, that is the carbon source, and hemicellulose is the carbon source. If we are utilizing these things properly, we can produce a lot of biotechnological products out of it. So three, cellulose, hemicellulose and lignin are there, plus some other phenolic materials, minerals will be there in the lignocellulose. Just I show you the structure. I am sure in +2 or 10th, 11th, you might have studied the plant structure or cell wall structure. Just going back, just to try to recollect the things. Next. So this is the plant cell wall. You can see the primary cell wall, and the secondary cell wall, it has plenty of cellulose fibers. These blue color lines are the cellulose fibers, and they are interconnected by both hemicellulose and the lignin. So what is the function of this? Cellulose fibrils are interconnected, and once they are interconnected, it becomes more crystalline and it will become a rigid structure. So that is the main function. So cell wall is so rigid and it protects all the intracellular components inside the cell. So what we are going to, you can see, this is the better diagram. You can see the yellow color bigger one is the cellulose fiber, and the cellulose fiber has a lot of microfibrils inside, smaller ones. So these smaller ones are tied together, one long cellulose fibril connected together as a bundle using hydrogen bonds or van der Waals forces. Then it forms a cellulose fiber. Each cellulose fiber, and it is interconnected by both hemicellulose and lignin. Lignin is the protecting material, it's covering all and protecting the cellulose and hemicellulose. And the cellulose is the inner one, it is protected by these both hemicellulose and the cellulose. So it is highly rigid structure. Nature is giving protection to the plant materials or intracellular organelles. So it will be difficult to break up using the treatments or using the enzymes. So just as a simple account over the cellulose. Cellulose is made of, what is the difference between starch and cellulose? Can you tell me? Starch is a polymer, polysaccharide. Cellulose is a polysaccharide. Am I right? Am I right or not? Both are made of Both are made of glucose. Okay, starch can we eat? Can we eat starch? Can we eat potato? Potato is made of starch. We can eat, but can we eat cellulose? Only cows, sheep, goat they can eat. Why? Cellulose is made of glucose. Starch is made of glucose. We can eat only the starch, not the cellulose. Why? Cellulose is made of alpha glucose. Starch is made of alpha glucose. Cellulose is made of beta glucose. We don't have the enzymes to digest this. We don't have the enzymes to digest beta 1,4 glycosidic bond. So that's why paddy straw. Any plant eats something, plants are eating. Animals are eating. They have the ruminants. They have the enzyme to break, but we don't have this one. So most of the thing we are throwing as a waste. But bacteria, microbes, they are producing the enzyme. We can make use of the microbes to make use of this cellulose. You can see each one is I made it in a bracket, that is 2 dimer of cellulose. One glucose, another glucose. If the dimer of glucose, that is called cellobiose. So the cellulose is made of repeating units of cellobiose. Okay. Can you see this? So this is the simple diagram showing the structure of cellulose microfibril. You can see beta glucose joined by beta 1,4 glycosidic bond, and it forms a long microfibril, and microfibrils are just joined together by hydrogen bond, and it forms cellulose fiber. The cellulose fibers, once again, they are attached with each other, once again with the hydrogen bonds, then it make a compact cell wall. So if we degrade this one, we will get the glucose. That glucose will be utilized by different types of bacteria, and you can get different types of product out of it. Am I right? When you want to grow in the medium, bacteria in the lab, what will you provide? Nutrients. The nutrients, what is the main nutrient you have to provide for the bacteria or fungi? Carbon, that is the first nutrient needed. Then that should be followed by nitrogen plus salt and the minerals. If you give carbon, nitrogen, they grow nicely. So once you break up all these glucose and if you inoculate some bacteria, they can grow well and they can produce the product. But why should they need this glucose? Actually, glucose is when you use the crude oil, that is the carbon source and the energy source. Other than the crude oil, when you come lignocellulosic biomass, they are acting as both the energy source and they are the carbon source. Okay. What is the difference between energy source and the carbon source? They take up the glucose, they go into the metabolism. You might have studied glycolysis, Krebs cycle, electron transport system. They produce ATP. That ATP will be used for doing so many functions. So they use the glucose as an energy source. Similarly, when the bacterium is multiplying, they have to produce a lot of cell wall, cell membrane. So for this purpose, they also use the glucose. So this is acting as both energy source and also cell carbon. So how we are going to use the technology or the success will depend upon this. So this is once again another different dimension. Glucose, they form the fibrils and they form the cellulose. Finally, plant cell wall, the crop is very rigid because of the cellulose rigid structure. The cellulose, it has both rigid and amorphous rigid. Rigid means it's like a crystal, very solid. And amorphous, it is a flexible region. So where that is the region, we have to target the amorphous region where we can breaking down either with acid, with alkali, or with the enzyme, we can break the cellulose. The next one is the hemicellulose. This is the second major carbon source available in the earth. Cellulose is made of, it's a homopolymer made of only glucose. But when you are coming to hemicellulose, it is a mixture of sugars present there. Glucose will be there, galactose will be there, mannose will be there, then xylose will be there, then finally arabinose will be there. Okay, all these together, so it is a heteropolymer. Out of this, glucose, galactose, mannose, these three are 6 carbon sugars, hexose sugars. And arabinose and xylose are pentose sugars. So when we want to degrade this cellulose, you will get both 6 carbon sugars and 5 carbon sugars. So when you are selecting a bacterium to utilize, most of the bacteria they use 6 carbon sugars. Some are able to utilize 5 carbon sugars. So if you want to utilize, you may design or genetically modify the bacterium to utilize both. Then you can the efficiency of utilization will be more. In addition to this, this sugars, it also has some organic acid. In the hemicellulose, you can find acetic acid, glucuronic acid, ferulic acid, everything will be there in the hemicellulose. And you see the side branch, once again, it's a branch in polysaccharide. The branch also having homo sugars or hetero sugars. Sometimes either glucose or mannose or rhamnose will be there in the side chain. But sometimes there are different types of sugars will be there in the side chain. One time, say for example, arabinoxylone will be there, arabinogalactone will be there, xyloglucan will be there. Like this, different sugars they attach and it forms a heteropolymer. So glucose, if you cellulose, if you degrade, you will get only glucose. But if you degrade hemicellulose, you will get different types of sugars. The third component, the major component is the lignin. Okay, and this is the nature's dominant aromatic polymer. It's not a sugar, but it's an aromatic polymer. So there are some phenolic propane compounds will be there, coumaryl, coniferyl, and synaphyl alcohol. These are all the main components. If you degrade this, you will get the phenolic compounds as a byproduct. So what it is doing, lignin function, it is protecting both its cellulose and the hemicellulose. When we construct a building, what will we do? What we need? The building, when you are constructing a wall, what you need? Bricks, you need it. Then cement. Only one. If you are keeping brick one over other, there will be no strength, right? So by pasting the cement, we are making it more rigid. The lignin is equivalent to the cement. Okay, just so it will just occupy here and there, and it attach all the cellulose, hemicellulose. It provides the rigidity, strength to the lignocellulosic biomass. Okay, so it is hydrophobic in nature. It won't allow other enzymes to act. So it is main function is the protection. When we take the lignocellulosic biomass, at this point I already told you, almost 50% cellulose you can have, hemicellulose, lignin, but it depends what type of plant you are taking. According to that, the content will vary. Next slide, you can see the different composition of the lignocellulosic biomass. You can see hardwood actually, it has 40 to 50% of cellulose, and maybe hemicellulose will be less than that. Softwood, the content is very high. Pine it has 42%, and spruce it has 45%. Agricultural waste, third one if you see, wheat straw it has 35 to 39% of cellulose, and if you come maybe rice straw, it has 29 to 34%. Similarly, grasses, switchgrass, everything. In European countries, lot of people they target the switchgrass because they are cultivating a lot. You might have seen the figure like a rolling grass, no? Mature. Just it's like this, a rolled grass. That is the switchgrass. I visited one time to Spain, Barcelona. I was there. So everywhere, if you just go around the road, they just harvest it and just roll it. Something it is going as animal feed, otherwise it will be a waste. So these are all the main things we can use as a feedstock. Okay, biotechnology, right? You are all studying biotechnology. The hope simply you can define biotechnology as if you are getting useful product out of the microorganisms. That is simply saying I can say biotechnology. Okay. For getting the useful products, if you make use of the waste material, then lot of success you can get. So this is the theme. How can we convert this biomass into bioproduct, biofuel or any other product? So if we are using the first generation biomass, just to take the say for some yam or sugarcane, directly you can get the sucrose, it is a disaccharide, or polysaccharide, starch you can take, and you just add some bacteria, they ferment it, you will get the product. Second generation, for some other food material, you have to go for a hydrolysis, fermentation, then you get the product. But if you are coming for the agricultural waste, second generation biofuel, one more steps will be added. That is the pre-treatment, hydrolysis, then finally the fermentation. Okay, you will get the product. So this is the basic outline of producing products from the lignocellulosic biomass. I think you may have a question in your mind, am I right? Straw, paddy straw, what we can get out of the paddy straw? Anything possible? What you say, you see JJ College campus is full of green trees, right? Secretary sir told me in the morning, in Qaboos they lost a lot of plantations. What they have done with the last material? Just cutting, removing, and we are throwing in there somewhere, right? What will happen if we are throwing somewhere? In the soil, microbes they degrade this lignocellulose biomass, finally it will be completely degraded, right? Instead of throwing this as a waste, you can try, if you are doing undergraduate project or master's project, you can try these materials to produce some products, useful products. I will show you, maybe at the end you may get an idea what I am saying. So enzymatic hydrolysis or acid hydrolysis, then fermentation, finally we can get the biofuel. So there are problems. Wherever you go, there are some problems. It's not a theoretically I can say easily convert this waste, but once you start to work in the laboratory, you will face a lot of problems. Three major problems we started to face. One is the cost of enzymes. When we want to use the cellulase, that is the enzyme degrading cellulose, we have to buy from Nova enzyme. So Nova, they are supplying through Sigma. If we buy Sigma, say I am buying 50 ml of cellulose enzyme, I am paying maybe 120 reals. It would be around $300 US. $300 US means you have 21,000 or 22,000 for 50 ml of the cellulose enzyme. So when you are adding this enzyme, you are increasing the cost of production. Am I right? When you start, imagine when you are going, in future you are going to start some biotechnology industry, what would be your aim? No aim of starting any company. If you are starting, nothing wrong in imagine. Am I right? You know Abdul Kalam, am I right? Imagine, dream, always dream something. You will achieve in the future. So, what is the main thing? If you are starting an industry, what is the main aim? Service or profit? Profit. No industry, nothing. They always go for profit. So when you will get profit, if you are reducing the cost of production, you will get the product or profit. If you increase the cost, then profit will go down. So here once you are adding the enzyme, you will increase the cost of the whole process. Then you have to treat the biomass. It's not easy to use the plant biomass as such. So you have to add enzyme and acid. There are inhibitory compounds will be produced. So that is another major problems we used to face when we go for this technology. Okay, just one. I produced 3 different products using the lignocellulosic waste. I'll show you at the end. But here just I am giving why we have to go for biofuel. Biofuel means this is mainly they are targeting with the bioethanol. What is the use? The carbon emission will be less, octane number will be very high, and then we can easily blend this. Less emission will be that 70 to 64% less emission, so environmental pollution will be reduced, and it is easy to blend. Maybe not now, maybe 2011 I went to Indonesia. Okay, so they started to use even petrol bunk, like this. When we go there, they were mixing ethanol with the normal petrol, 5%, 10% they started. And Brazil, they are blending 15% ethanol. That means 100 ml if you are filling your fuel, 1 liter if you are filling, 850 ml will be the petrol and 150 ml will be ethanol. What are we doing here? Are we blending? No, India also started to blend 5% ethanol. In cities they start to blend with this. Okay, and the natural gas also India is concentrated. So this is the thing, less environmental pollution, and we can increase the efficiency of the engine. So they are targeting for the biofuel. Okay, in 2040 it is estimated that how much we are using the fuel, fossil fuel now, it will be 1/4 in 2040. So remaining 75% it will be occupied by biofuel, either by electric vehicle or by biofuel vehicle we are going to concentrate. So that is essential to make use of the lignocellulosic biomass produce. And these are all the bottlenecks. Bottlenecks means the problems what we are going to face. The structure of the lignin, it won't allow the cellulose to utilize, that is the problem. And the enzymatic saccharification. Whenever we are adding enzyme, saccharification means conversion of something into sugars. So we will get less amount of sugar. That is another hurdle. The third one is the characteristic and what type of pre-treatment we are using. So for this, 3-4 times. So pre-treatment followed by enzymatic saccharification, and third would be the fermentation. You will get some product. Okay. I'm not going to bore you so much. This is a technical idea. Suppose if you are having some mind, if you want to go to research something, you can do this. Okay, say for example, I don't know whether Mani was not there here at the time. One student, Nagendran, was there in microbiology, and he has studied MSc in Biorefinery University. It was like this, they used to share. Even I left, I didn't know much about him, sending mails, everything. Now he is in UK. Okay, so they different field they started. I think another one, Srijit Ravindran. He was the university rank holder, and he was doing PhD in Japan. When my assistant dean from our university, they went to Japan to sign MOU, and he just met them. They introduced the PhD scholars. Then he asked them about the Oman SKU from this. Means immediately he asked, "Do you know Dr. Sultan?" And fortunately, my assistant dean, he knows me very well. And so they told, and he asked me, "Your students are there everywhere?" Yes, I told them, because this was the first, I think, third or fourth college in the Tamil Nadu. It started both microbiology and biotechnology. So initial students, I don't know how it is now. We got it from Tamil Nadu, we got it from Kerala, we got it from Andhra. When I was teaching, all the 3 states mixed, South India. We not only taught for Tamil Nadu based, South Indian. So everywhere they are spreading, and everywhere they are working before this. So the Oman, I don't know if you don't know about Oman, that is there. And the globe you can see, it is west of India. Just if you are crossing Arabian Sea, you can reach Oman. Okay. Why I am saying, maybe 2 years back I was giving a keynote speech in London on conference. Big people were there. I asked them, most of them they don't know where is Oman. They traveled throughout the world because it's a tiny country and it is just at the end of the Gulf region, so they don't know exactly. So just I thought of showing this one. That is the Oman. And when you look into the satellite picture, I am talking about lignocellulosic polymers, right? From where we will get lignocellulose from plants. Can you check out this figure, diagram, satellite picture? Yeah, it is greenish, means yes, with a lot of plants. You can see India somehow okay, but when you go to the Gulf region, all are this soil, brown color one, that indicates no plant biomass. It is dry soil, desert. And similarly, can you see the African North Pole? Why it is? That is because of Sahara desert. Sahara is there from the almost from the north to the middle of the African countries. Down South Africa, everything that is so greenish. Even Ethiopia is greenish, South Africa is greenish, Sudan, everything is greenish. But if you go there, Gulf region, few parts are green, but in the satellite picture it is not displayed. Most of the waters desert soil. So what can I do? I thought of working in this area, but no sources, right? So I thought of concentrating on the municipal solid waste. What do you mean by municipal solid waste? Whatever may be the waste material we are collecting from the household, companies, industries, horticulture, academic institutions, everything. Simply saying all the waste we are throwing in the dumps, that I want to concentrate, because a lot of wastes are available in Oman. Just I want to concentrate on this. So when I was going through the literature, I got this data. Can you check it out? First, the ash color, that is the organic content in the Gulf. First one is the Saudi Arabia, second one is Abu Dhabi, third one is the Qatar, fourth is Oman, Kuwait and Bahrain. So organic content is very high in all the Gulf countries, followed by the second one, that is the blue color one. So the blue color bar indicates the paper waste. Okay. So the paper waste, it is available, and you know very well. It's like when you are binding your dissertation or thesis, we use the bond paper, right? We are using bond papers like high quality papers like anything. There is a common printer, 4 printers in our department, and they ream of papers. Our coordinator, one Filipino lady, for her work, she has to coordinate the department. Plus dumping the papers, using papers like anything, misusing actually, lot of papers we are wasting. Through Gulf you can see, all countries they have a lot of paper waste. So I thought of using this paper waste as a resource, feedstock, instead of going for the plant material, because it is very difficult to break it. But what is the possibility of benefit of using paper? Already it is grinded, am I right? Paper we are getting from plants, go green. If you want to go green, use less paper. Okay, so they pulp make it. So during this process, they breaking down all the lignin layer, everything. Lot of cellulose is exposed. So I felt it is a good source to use this paper as a feedstock. One more thing, just Dr. Manikandan giving the introduction, he told I was the coordinator for the one course, Biology 201 course. There are 450 students in my course. It's like a basic course. When you are joining in the college, all people have to study the course. So 8 or 9 sections. I was the in charge for all the 9 sections. I have to set questions, conduct the exam. I have to give the grade for this course. It's not like India. We don't believe people here, right? If Manikandan is teaching, you won't allow him to correct his paper because he may give mark for this guy, that girl. No. Somebody else university will go. No. There I can design my course. I can teach. I can conduct exam. I can mark, and I have to give grades. So all these 9 sections, midterm exams, 2 exams, quizzes every lab, and always my office with full of papers. Okay, why don't we use this paper as a feedstock? That was the question. So I have written a project for that. I got a big grant, almost 4 crores I got it. So I have appointed 3 PhD students and 1 postdoc in this. Almost 4 years we have done the research, and we have got a very good products, publications out of that. So that's what the remaining lecture I am going to share. Can you see the population of Oman? How many kids we have here in Indian family, average on average? For this also no answer. How many kids? 2 maximum, right? But if you go to the Muslim countries, Islamic countries, 7, 8, 10. First time when I was going Oman, I got a car. One guy picked me from the university, driver came. He is like a grandpa, maybe 55 years, 60 years old. The young kids. Then I asked him, are they your grandchildren? He said, no, how can you ask like this? They are my kids. My son, I felt like anything, 55 years and he has new kids, small, maybe 3 years, 4 years like this. So it will be like this, no limitations. But still their population is not that much high. Maybe from 2016 it is double, 4.57 million. Unfortunately, they don't do a lot of physical work. The thing is, they higher level posts they want to sit. They don't go and they don't do the low level jobs. So they appoint people from different countries. So other than Oman is 2.5 million is their population. Remaining 2 million is all other country people. Asian countries means India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Philippines. Okay. Then Europeans, all are there. So 2 million is there. The thing is, they make a lot of waste materials. They don't care much about the waste generation. If you see the next slide, can you see just the study indicated in Oman, 62,000 tons of paper waste is available. Total waste is 1.6 million tons that is generated in the country. Out of this, 62,000 is the paper waste. We have a lot of landfills, 320 landfills are there. They just simply dump it, and once it reaches a certain level, they burn it. What will happen once you burn the paper other waste? Lot of smoke will come, we are polluting the environment. Then they go for another landfill, fill it, do it. Recycling just now started, and I think they have constructed recyclable landfills are there, 4 I think. So they are doing the bioengineering of the waste management. And you can see the last point actually, per capita waste generation is 1.5 kg per day. It means any person living in Oman, they are generating 1.5 kg of waste per day. So that is one of the top 10 in the world. Okay, we are less than it. Okay, so they are wasting a lot of materials. So then I thought, okay, and they are also having bins, the university also, we have recyclable waste, non-recyclable waste, paper waste. There is a newspaper, Muscat Daily. They are collecting all these paper waste for recycling. Okay, so a good number of amount of paper waste was there, so I want to use it. So these are all the landfills in Oman. Only 4 landfills are engineered now. They don't cause pollution, they are disposing. Other than that, major part is the disposal and the minimum is the recycle, everything. So just thought of using this. So this was a study conducted by my colleague, one person in my department. They conducted a study over the landfills in the Oman, and they just classified the composition. You can see food waste 28.2%. For one of my PhD student, environmental science student, I went to a landfill. When we make the survey of what are all the different waste collected, one truck has come and they just throw the material. I was shocked, chicken biryani, with a lot of leg piece, so many things. Then we asked, it is from the military camp. Military, the people they eat it, and most of the thing it is coming as a waste. So food waste is the highest one, followed by paper and cardboard. I leave equally we are getting. So then I have decided, okay, this one I can concentrate to make it as a feedstock for the product production. So this is the paper. When we use the paper waste, recycling is coming. You may have a question in your mind, why don't we recycle? Why should we make it as a feedstock? Recycling, the paper if you are using, if you go for recycling maybe 2 or 3 times, after that no, you cannot use it. It will become a very low quality papers. The fiber content will be more, then once again you have to throw it in the environment. So what is the solution? One day it will go for the environment. Instead we can collect one-time used paper or recycled papers, and why don't we produce product out of that? That was the idea. So composition of paper, same like plant cell wall. Lignin will be there, cellulose will be there, hemicellulose will be there. So in addition to this, just to make the paper surface smooth, they fill it with some fillers, calcium carbonate, some aluminium material, silica and everything. They fill it and make the surface so smooth. So before using, we have to remove these fillers, then the cellulose will be exposed nicely to the enzymes. Then we can degrade the cellulose into glucose. That was the idea. So this was the flow diagram we have developed. We want to take the waste paper, we want to treat pre-treatment, then prepare the paper as a substrate, then doing enzymatic hydrolysis, fermentation, then any product using appropriate microorganisms. We want to generate the product. So this is the one. What is the purpose of pre-treatment actually? Why it's like conducting exam for the students. So treat the paper waste or any other waste to get more cellulose exposed, right? Why we are asking questions to the students? What is the purpose of asking questions? First one, after 30 minutes you may start to sleep, right? At least some question is coming, then some they point it out, calling the name. Some generally they, suppose if I am pointing some person, if he is just about to go in a sleep mode, immediately he will be activated, am I right? Something to bring from your mind, you know, or you may forget, you may have studied few years back, just to recollect it back. Treatment, the purpose of treatment is same like this. Already cellulose is there, it is hidden. When you are treating pre-treatment, the cellulose fibers will be exposed. You can see here pre-treatment that make the cellulose more accessible to the enzymes, and it will break the lignin, so barrier is broken down, and it increases the decrease the crystallinity, accessibility of the enzyme will be increased. So we went first for the pre-treatment. After pre-treatment, if you are adding enzyme, you will get sugar stop. So these are all the main objectives of the pre-treatment: size reduction, increase the enzyme access, producing lot of sugars, reducing the environmental pollution, reducing the energy consumption. Okay, so that's why pre-treatment is needed. So there are different types of pre-treatment: physical, chemical, solvent fractionation, and biological decomposition. I am not going into the details, just to have an idea. Different types are. Okay. So can you see this? What is the first one? Can you tell me? That is the paper shredder. We have the paper shredder in our office. If I am writing a proposal, I am taking a printout. Sometimes the problem in the printer, it won't come out. But if I leave my office, after 10 minutes, the printout will come, right? Say next day I am coming. Suppose, simply saying some matter you are having in a paper, you don't want to expose to any other one. Better disposing way is the shredding. Just we bought a shredder in our lab, put the paper waste in the shredder. Can you see how many different types of paper waste are there? 4 different types, right? The white one, maybe starting from the first, that was the newspaper. The next one is the cardboard. Can you see the cardboard? We are just trying to, that is our university emblem. Our university emblem, some one cartoon pack, cardboard, we shredded. Third one is the office paper, my students' exam paper. Okay, so what to do with that? After getting marks, and I cannot show it outside. The university rule, they send every semester, I have to keep it for 2 years at least. Suppose somebody is claiming some issues, I have to keep it for 2 years, after that I have to dispose. University will collect all these and they burn it. But instead of just I have kept it in my office and we just shredded it. The fourth one was the magazine. Lot of color pictures was there. You can see out of this. Then taking this is the physical treatment. Okay, reducing the size of the paper. Then putting it in our blender, mixing. We say mixing. Blender, laboratory blender. Add some water and grind it. When I was a small boy, studying 8th standard, 9th standard, when I go for summer vacation, my grandma do like this, not with a blender. They make a paste, everything, and they have a bowl. Over the bowl, they make a paste of this and they put under sun. After drying, they heat and they take the bowl. It's a paper bowl, you will get it. They just take the brinjal or something, tomato from the farm and they keep it in this. Okay, so following that idea, thought of making as a paper. We pasted. Can you see this shredded paper? Then after shredding, we add it in the blender, and the top one is after drying. Then what I felt once drying, we thought it will be like a powder, but no, we didn't get like a powder because the dry water is evaporated. They become aggregated together. It was like a mass. So once again, second grinding we have done, then drying. So we got a powdering. It's not a powdering material, it's like a spongy material. Not like cotton, but less than this. Okay. So we got it, and that one we have used as a substrate. Can you see this shredded paper? And this one was one of my PhD students. I took a photo of that. The grinder, after that, with the water, they keep it inside the oven, 50 degrees for 1 day. Everything will evaporate. After evaporation, it will become accumulated mass like this. Once you just grind it, you will get a spongy material, and that was the waste I used to produce product. Okay, I will say what product we got it. One is the bioethanol, one is biodiesel, and the third one successfully we got is the bioblast. Okay, so these three we got out of the paper waste. So we use different pre-treatments using acid treatment with sulfuric acid, then alkali treatment with NaOH, other two, hydrogen peroxide, phosphoric acid, everything we have tried. Then thermal treatment in the autoclave, we keep it 121 degrees for 30 minutes. Then after that, after drying, all the 4 days of pre-treated paper was there. And you can see the next diagram with ink, without the ink. Actually, the big problem in using wastewater is the ink. This ink, it has some toxic materials, it won't allow the microbes to grow. But when we washed everything, we couldn't find any ink material. The paper was white like. Okay. One of my students' relative was working he is still working in a paper, like a Hindu, without printing, the raw paper he got it for us. So, inked paper, first one no ink, without any printing paper, and with the ink, what after pre-treatment we also got the same color. So, we just ignore about the effect of ink. We went to the next level. So, after taking this spongy mass, I want to just check it out, how the pre-treatment is good. So we went to the scanning electron microscopic photos. You can see the 4 pictures are there. The first one is under low magnification. Okay, that is untreated. The second one, in the first column, second one is the treated. Can you see the difference between these two? There are a lot of unnecessary materials are removed. Otherwise, you look into the second picture, the bigger, higher magnification, you can see a lot of fibrils, everything are there. Filling materials are there. But when you see the fourth one, the last one, and compared with that one, this is so smooth, right? So all the filling materials, calcium, okay, silicon, everything, aluminum, everything is washed away after treatment. And we got the cellulose, more cellulose is exposed, that we confirmed with the scanning electron microscope studies. And our instrument is attached with another option, EDX. When you expose to EDX, you will get what are all the components there in your sample. Can you see this? First one, untreated, it has oxygen, carbon, calcium, silicon, aluminum and magnesium. After treatment, we will get only carbon and oxygen. So all these filling materials all are removed. So any inhibitory effect by aluminium or silicon all are removed now. So we have only carbon and oxygen in the pre-treated paper. So we want to use it as a substrate for microbial fermentation. So paper substrate we prepare. So we want to analyze the composition. After that we took the sample and we analyzed using NREL methods, National Renewable Energy Sources. That is the international from US. They released a methodology. We just followed that methodology and we found, you can see this one, office paper and newspaper we tried. In office paper it has 52% of cellulose or glucose. Newspaper it has 34% of cellulose. There are other conditions. So we want to use this sugar as a substrate for fermentation. So these are all the 4 different treatment. Out of this hydrogen peroxide, last pre-treatment, we got more sugar. And you see, each treatment we took it in 3 different concentrations. Hydrogen peroxide 0.1, 0.5 and 1. We got a maximum around 74% of cellulose in this. So when we take pre-treatment and you have to wash, in the washing solution also, we should not lose more sugar. Otherwise all the sugar when we are washing it will go away. So that we checked very less 0.9 or 1% of sugar is lost. So we want to have this pre-treatment. In my lab, one student is working with the hydrogen peroxide and another student is working with the sulfuric acid. Okay, all other 2 students are working with the sulfuric acid. Okay, but each one we modified in a different way. But here just I am saying the hydrogen peroxide, we went ahead with this crystallinity. Crystallinity means the rigidity. If it is so rigid, cellulose we don't allow the enzyme to act. So after pre-treatment, we check the crystallinity. Can you see the first blue bar is the untreated office paper and the first red bar is the untreated newspaper. When you go to the last one, hydrogen peroxide, when we treat it, the crystallinity went down. So that indicates what? If the crystallinity is low, that is more susceptible to the action of enzymes. Okay, more amorphous regions are exposed now, so the enzyme can act over this and it can easily break it down. Okay, so similarly, substrate enzyme, when we are adding, how susceptible substrate is susceptible, we checked the pre-treated hydrogen peroxide, pre-treated paper was more susceptible to the enzyme. So the next process now, paper substrate is ready. We want to go further. Convert the cellulose into sugar. So that is the enzymatic saccharification or enzymatic hydrolysis. We use the enzyme from pure enzyme and also enzymes produced our own isolate. Both we have tried. Cellulase from trichoderma rhizome. What is the trichoderma rhizome? It's bacteria, fungus or virus. Trichoderma, fungus, that is the most studied one and that is known for the production of cellulase enzyme. Sigma, they are producing this one. Beta glucosidase from Aspergillus niger. Okay. We have used the pure enzyme from the company and we used our own enzyme and we prepared a single enzyme, double enzyme dose and we tried for the enzymatic hydrolysis. Any inhibitory compounds are produced, that also we have tried. Furfural, hydroxymethyl, furfural, phenolic compounds, everything we have analyzed. So these are all the sum of the enzyme dosage. Say for example, the lower line is 9.25 enzyme units. The second line is with 18, third line is 37, fourth 74, 185. 74, 185 and this 37 they are close. So we thought of using 37 FPU enzyme units for the enzymatic hydrolysis. Same, this is the same with the newspaper but less sugar content. So sugar yield, when we check it, you can see the higher glucose yield, we got it in the hydrogen peroxide treated office paper. So 15 gram per liter we got it. Can you get it? When you how will you prepare medium during the lab? I hope they give you nutrient broth, right? Just adding the broth. Did you check the nutrient broth composition? What is the composition? Peptone will be there, yeast extract will be there. If you want to prepare your own medium, minimal salt medium will be there. Means you prepare a salt medium, then add glucose, so you can design your own medium. Okay. So here we are getting a reasonable amount, 15 grams of glucose per liter. So we want to go ahead. Okay, inhibitors also, as I told you, acetic acid and the phenolic compounds will come from lignin, from Cellulose we will get the hydroxy methyl furfural, and from hemicellulose there is a chance of producing furfural. So we went and we checked with the HPLC. We take this product, we checked with the HPLC. Can you see? We didn't find any other material, inhibitors, but only under the acid treatment. 0.1% H2SO4 treated, there we found the inhibitors. Okay, what are the inhibitors? Furfural and the astamer, hydroxymethyl furfural. Other treatments, they are not in the detectable level. HPLC, we tried nothing. So when we go for the hydrogen peroxide treatment, the substrate is safe to utilize. So after utilization, after adding enzymatic hydrolysis, once again we took the sample and just clicked the picture under scanning electron microscopy. Can you find the difference between that cell image and this image? What happened here? So they are broken down into smaller pieces. It means maximum amount of paper fibrils are utilized. That is, cellulose is degraded. Almost 80% degradation we got. So these are the three types of enzymes. They are involving endo-exoglucanase. Okay, they just breaking down the cellulose. The dimer will be produced. You can see the lower side. There are three types of enzymes acting synergistically. Simply we say cellulase, but it consists of three exoenzymes. They act at the end of the cellulose molecule, endoenzymes at the middle, then they release the dimer, cellobiose. There is the third enzyme, beta glucosidase, that will cleave this dimer into simple sugar. Okay, so three acting together and they are converting. So that is a hectic process. Some they produce first two enzymes in good amount, they don't produce the third enzyme in good amount. Okay, so you have to try, you have to plan a lot of experiments to get a good result. Okay, so this is one of the publications we got it. One of my PhD student, Omani girl, actually cardboard we use. Okay, there is no report. Using cardboard as a source to produce cellulase. Usually they buy cellulase and the pure enzyme. We have produced successfully using the cardboard. Because cardboard, after packing something, we just remove and we throw it. Otherwise, we keep it in the home as a box and put something inside, right? Other than that, we just throw it in the dump site. So we have taken the cardboard and we used as a substrate to produce this cellulase enzyme, successfully produced. And we have published in a good impact factor journal, Biomass Conversion into Biorefinery from Spring. And the other one, actually, this is once again my another PhD student work, one Malayali girl, Kerala girl associated with me. And here what we have done, we have isolated a bacteria from animal farm. Animal husbandry, just animal farm event, where they grow rare forms of cattle, goat, sheep, everything. So different parts we have collected. We got one bacteria called the Bacillus malacensis. So not much reports on this. So using this bacteria, and taking that lady worked with the cardboard and she tried with the office paper, and we produced the cellulase enzyme actually using the waste. So that is also I think 4 point something or 5 point something impact factor we published. So this is the I teach all my students to use these two designs, Plucker Perman design and response surface methodology. So they give the interaction of factors during the fermentation process, and these are all the good tools to optimize. The first table it shows the different factors we have taken for the fermentation. So paper substrate, so nitrogen source, then salt, time, pH, inoculum, shaking speed, okay, incubation time, yeast extracts, potassium chloride, everything we have taken. Out of this, finally we found which are all the essential factors. We just took it for the response surface methodology. In that also 20 experiment, 30 or 50 experiment, it depends upon the factors we are taking, we are run. We got the interaction plots. Out of this, we have selected the standard conditions, then produced the enzyme, published that to papers. Well, when we tried the different substrate loadings, 1 to 5, and we got more sugars in the 3% pre-treated paper. So we want to go ahead with the 3% of paper. 3% means if you are taking 100 ml water, 3 gram of paper you have to add. That is once again more sugar is produced at different times. We checked, we got a maximum at 120, but from 72 hours until 120 there was no significant difference. So in all the studies we used 72 hours to get more amount of sugar. So fermentation, going to the last part, you can see here enzymatic saccharidification we have done under different conditions. You can see on the left side there is a sugar released, and the right side is the hydrolysis percentage. The blue color bar, that is for the office paper, and the red color line is for the newspaper. So office paper, it has given lot of sugars than the newspaper. Okay, the quality of paper, office paper is good. Okay, newspaper, and it has a lot of dyes, lot of issues with that. So you can see around 25 grams per liter sugar, we got it using the office paper. And the hydrolysis percentage, almost 90% of the paper was hydrolyzed. So using yeast for alcohol production, we have to make use of yeast. We tried some local isolates, we didn't get much results. So I bought the strain from Germany. There is a culture collection center. You know what is a culture collection center? What do you mean by culture collection center? They collect the culture and store it. Being an academician or any industrial scientist, if they want to get the culture, we can order them, you have to pay money, they will send you. Any culture collection center do we have it in India? MTech, Chandigarh, MTCC, Microbial Type Culture Collection Center, it is there. Don't think only MTech, but there are maybe, I think, around 20 or 22 culture collection centers are there. Agriculture, each discipline, there are so many culture collection centers in India. But in Oman, unfortunately, we don't have any culture collection centers. So I have given recently a proposal to the council. That proposal is under review. I have to develop a culture collection center for Oman in future, maybe in another 5 years. They agreed orally. I have given a proposal. It is under review. Because we have dry environment, we have clean environment, we have hot springs. Lot of different environments are there. So we hope we can get a good variety of environment. So for this, I ordered from Germany. That is culture collection center, DMS. Okay, then it is somehow complicated. Short form is this one. Okay, the Yeast Institute, that is a short form. So I just purchased the yeast culture from there, and we just grown it in this medium, and we got the ethanol production. And you see here, this is the graph showing how the reducing sugar is utilized, and how ethanol, how much it is produced, and the cell growth. All the three are there. And we got a maximum ethanol production. I think it is 11.5. Something. I think that's the ethanol one. Yeah, it is 11.5 gram per liter ethanol we got. This is with the help of office paper. And we use the newspaper, the second one. So that is, it is very less, around the 6.8 gram. Okay, half of the office paper we got it. Yes. So this paper we have published in another waste and biomass valorization with an impact factor of 2.4. We published it. Yes. So another PhD students, actually we needed more than this, 11%. When I presented in London, actually I got 9%, 9 gram per liter. Then many people, one IIT professor from Kharagpur, he has also given so many suggestions. So we have adapted different methodologies. Hydrolysis, separate hydrolysis we have done. And this is the pure enzyme. Left side with our own bacterial enzyme. We tried. And the fermentation studies we have conducted. Our own enzyme, when we were using, we got only 2.25 gram of ethanol. But when we use the commercial enzyme, that 11% we got it. Why it is like this? What is the reason behind this? We have produced the ethanol enzyme, but it is very low. But when we use the commercial enzyme, lot of sugars are released and we are getting more ethanol. Why it is? The activity, unit activity of the enzyme is very high. How they are producing, say if you are growing fungus, there are a lot of metabolic pathways, right? How about our body? Instead of going for microorganisms, how many biochemical reactions are going inside the body? You can't count, right? Hundreds of biochemical reactions are going. But what they do, the novozyme, they take a fungus, Trichoderma viride, they genetically manipulate, cutting down all the metabolic pathways. Okay, slowly cutting down. And whatever be the nutrients it is taking, it is always spending the energy only for the cellulase production. So they tune like this. Okay, so it is a trade secret. No one knows how they modify this fungus. If anyone knows, only that 3 people they are in charge for the company. If any 4th people know, it won't come out. If knows, there is no security for their life. Because throughout the world, they are the only company supplying everywhere. So they took lot of years to achieve this one. So the activity is very high. So we got more sugars and more type of ethanol. Still, we would like to increase the yield of ethanol. So we went for this one. There are two different types of concentration of 5%, and we have tried with the two different dose of enzymes. You can see 5.5 and 8.5. This is with the simultaneous saccharification and the fermentation. Separate hydrolysis means adding enzyme, getting sugar, and adding yeast. Here, adding enzyme and yeast both together we tried. We didn't get a good results, but it is less 8.8. So what we have been taught, we thought of increasing the load of cardboard from 5% to 10%. Then we tried, can you see this? Actually 31 gram or 33 gram we got it. Okay, using separate simultaneous saccharification and fermentation. Then fed batch we tried that we got 31 gram of ethanol. So getting 33 gram of ethanol out of 1 liter of waste paper solution, that's what we achieved. Can we scale it up? Being a biotechnologist, what is your idea? Not the first year student, maybe third year students or masters. Is it enough to go for a large scale? Not enough. Whatever be the finding we are finding in the lab, that is fine, but we have to scale it up. Whatever be the thing, it is a long way to go. We are trying to scale it up also. So this work on review we have published in another paper, our team. So that is the biofermentation, bioproducts, biorefinery. That is the journal from Wiley publication with an impact factor of 4.2. This is a review. Okay, it's not a article, review we have. Whenever any students coming for masters or PhD student, first job I used to give them, read the related reprints. Read means they come and say, I read so many things. Okay, ask them to write the review, then you know how much they read it. So write, maybe this review actually it took 2 years. 1 year that student took. I am correcting, maybe 6 or 7 times we corrected, and finally submitted for this one, and it got accepted. And this is the fermenter I taught through my project. This is the 100 liter fermenter. I am trying to scale up the products in my laboratory. Okay, so the ethanol, lipid, bioplastic, all the three producing, I am trying to scale. As I told you, the economy, oil prices are going down. Nowadays, we are not getting a good fund. If you want to go ahead of in your research, you need funds. If you need funds, you will get very good students. If you pay them, they work, right? Am I right? What I am saying, you don't think it is say if you are applying Western countries anywhere, you will get the scholarship. Okay, after finishing undergraduation, don't apply masters here and try. What I am saying, don't close your views. Try anywhere else. Don't think like, oh, UK, can I go and survey? First, you have to throw this thinking out of you. Even when I was here, I was like this. When you go out, persons, those who have completed doctorate in US, UK, oh God, big guys, no, they are not even equivalent to us. Okay, so here the thing is, we know more and we express very less. That is the attitude of Indians. But outside, if you go, they know less, but they express a lot. In such a way, we thought, okay, they know so many things. No, it's not like that. They know just only one matter and they talk about that a lot. Okay, so we are having a very good education system here. So just anything going for higher studies, you try that. Okay, if you are getting scholarship, then it is good to study. Without scholarship, then if you have to make your own news, no need to go anywhere outside. But if you are getting scholarship, the thing is, if you are applying for a master's, MSc or PhD, first you have to write a very good proposal. If the supervisor is liking that proposal, it will be done. Okay, he will pay you, and using this money, you can stay there. Okay, you can pay for your rent, you can go for your eating material, everything you can cover with this. Say if you go to UK or US, part-time job also they do, okay, and they get some pocket money out of this. Okay, so you can try it out. So that is the fermenter, in 100 liter fermenter. I am trying to scale up. Can you see this? Right side petri dish. Can you see what is that? Can you tell me? It's like a paper, filter paper, right? No, that is the plastic we produce using the bacteria in our lab. Okay, that is the bioplastic. It's a sheet like pour it in the petri dish and it's slightly shrinked. It is a plastic we produce. How we produce the plastic? Using what? Same or this waste paper. You know the issues of plastic, contaminating the environment. So the problem with the bioplastic, there are a lot of research going through the world to produce bioplastic, but the problem is the cost. We cannot compete with the petroleum-based plastic. So people are trying different ways. I thought of using this waste paper as a substrate for bioplastic production. Can you see the left side? This is the bacteria called Cupriatus nicata. Okay, and when you are having high sugar, less nitrogen concentration. At least carbon sugar content should be 20 and the nitrogen content should be 1. Then they start to accumulate this polyhydroxy butyrate granules inside the cell. You lyse the cell, extract it out, that is equivalent to the petroleum-based plastic. All the characteristics are similar to this one. So we produce this one. Okay, so now I am getting a lot of queries from different companies that how can we scale it up? Okay, so another maybe 1 or 2 years, I am trying to patent this, but the problem has already been published. But anyway, there are other options I am trying. The problem was, actually I don't want to lose the credit. This was the first report. So this is the another fermenter we have it in our lab, 7-liter fermenter. So we used to do this and we got the product out of that 7 liters. I am trying for now 70 liters in the lab, how much we got it. Then it may take time, another 1 or 2 years. Okay, if I am reducing the cost, companies are ready to invest in this. Okay. So that bioplastic what we produce, we check with that. In Sigma also pure PHB is available. We bought the PHB and checked with that. The blue color line is the Sigma product and this green and red color, that is our own product. One is with Cupriatus nicata, another one is Burkholderia saccharine. These two bacteria we use for the production. They are almost equivalent to the standard product. Yes. So this is just we have published this work in another journal, Journal of Biotechnology, with an impact factor of 3.2. And this is the first report in the world producing bioplastic using the waste paper. Okay, so what happened to the surprise? December or January 1st or 2nd, we got a mail. Because this paper journal is sending through the world, all the scientists. We are publishing a highly making impact manuscripts, something like this. Usually it will come just I go through like this. But just what are the top 5 papers of the year they listed. When I was going through, this paper was the 5th one actually. So just I was happy, the idea was good. And it is making so much impressive for the editors. So they circulated throughout the world as the 5th top most impact paper for the year 2018. So this is another, I told you, Burkholderia saccharine. This also we have published in another paper, Journal of Cleaner Production, with a high impact factor. This is one of my PhD students work, 6.4. We published this. This is, as I told you, bioplastic. Once that student, that is also Omani girl, once started to work, first assignment, write the review. Okay, she started in 2015, okay, and we published it is accepted in 2018. Almost 2 years she took to write and many times correction everything. Then when you are submitting, it is very difficult to publish in high impact factor journals now. They reject it for very silly reasons. They say this one. Finally, we found this journal, it got accepted. Reviews in environmental science and biotechnology. So the third product what I targeted, that is producing microbial lipids. Once you are producing lipids, fatty acid, methyl esters, everything you create, and you can make use of this as a biodiesel. Same, using the waste of this paper, we took it, and using different type of microorganisms, Rhodococcus opacus, we used it, and you can see how many 20 different types of lipids it is storing inside. Just taking the lipid outside, and we study the lipid content, everything, then fatty acid, methyl esters we created, and we study the biodiesel properties also. And there are different types of properties. I don't want to lengthen this, so CTA number, everything we studied, and they are equivalent to the biodiesel. And one of the oleaginous yeast we used, and it is giving a fatty acid that you can use it in the cold elements. Say for example Canada, most of the years it is in minus, right? So the fuel should not be solid. For this there are some fatty acids are essential. We got that fatty acid also We are writing manuscript now about in the process of submitting. So this is the rhodocarbons, and this is same thing, rhodostridum thorolidus. So we use the waste of this paper to produce biodiesel. This is the lipid composition. In fact, 6 different lipids we got it. So this lipid production also we published in a very good journal, Fuel from Elsevier. This is impact factor 5.1, and this is, say for example, when you are studying something, sometimes you get an accidental discovery, right? Am I right? You agree with this? There are many findings. When they study for one thing, maybe some byproduct something we find. So when this girl was working with me, when we are producing lipids, the medium become more slightly viscous, something like this. So we felt that there is some other product produced along with the lipids. We felt like biosurfactants, so we tried polymers, but we checked, but it was not a polysaccharide, but it was producing biosurfactant. So we tried a small study for a co-production, producing microbial lipid. Lipid is there inside the cell, intracellular product, and this is the extracellular product. So once you, after fermentation, you harvest the cell, lyse the cell, take the product, from the medium you can get another product. So if you are producing 2 products from a single process, it will reduce the cost. So that also we tried and published in the Biomass Conversion and the Biorefinery journal, the impact factor of 2.3. So that also. Okay. So that's all about the stories. Almost I spent 10 years, 11 years there. But I got my laboratory after 4 or 5 years there. The last 4 years, it was a hectic work. We worked hard. It's a teamwork. All my students, they also worked. I didn't leave them to be simply doing some research and getting PhD. So one got PhD and the other 2 are waiting. After going back from my vacation, July end, most probably in August, they have the Viva and they will complete. Okay. If you have, that's all. Thanks for the opportunity. If you have any questions, something, please ask. Not essentially from the talk or something. If you need any clarification, I'm ready to clarify. If you say, for example, you teach a suppose master student, if you are working in a project, if you want to go through recent materials, okay, when you go for higher studies, always refer the journals, those who are published within 5 years or at least 10 years. If you need a recent article for your MSc or MPhil studies, please mail me. You can see my maybe first slide. Can you do that? So that has my mail ID. You can mail me. If you need just to introduce yourself, and maybe you can mail me as a JJ college student. If you need any research article, mail me. I download it through our university website. I'll send it to you. That is my university mail ID. If you want, you can.
Roadside is used for bioplastic product.
Which one?
Roadside is
Roadside trees.
aroma.
Yeah, you can use it. The thing is, the woody part will be difficult to use. You can take the leaf. You can take the leaf and you can shake. Same now, I told you reduces the nephrology. You can use, you degrade this using cellulose enzyme, you get the sugars, and then use appropriate bacteria, yes, sure we can reduce it. The thing is, so the thing is the cost of production. If he, as he asked you, so that when we use these leaves and you are successfully converting into sugar, that's it. You can make use of this cupriatus nigrata is the well-known bacteria to produce more bioplastic. If you use maybe 80% of the product, you will get it. If you are getting good, it is fine. And here we are growing it is like a renewable source, no? Continuously it is growing. You can try. If you need help anything, you just even mail me. Okay, I'll help you. So the thing is, actually the purpose is, say for example, Banaras Hindu University, BHU, Banaras Hindu University. One professor was working and he looked into my article and he just made me over phone, WhatsApp call, we used to discuss monthly once what we do. So the thing is, he started to work with the bioplastic now. So plan, I prepared, I discussed with him, I sent it to him by mail, and any clarification means they call me. First thing we just started maybe 6 or 7 months back. We produced a consortium for cellulose producing cell. Maybe 3 days back it was published in Frontiers Energy. So you can tie up making collaboration. That is another thing. Anything you are contacting outside people will be responding very fast. Don't think only known people, only Bharat industry will go and approach means they help. No, it's not that. You can get more help outside than from India. That also students, if you are making a query immediately, any professor will. Any other questions?
So,
How many?
the pre-treatment you have shown the cell image, and then you have said about the UDS,
DDs.
EDs.
Yeah,
It's the component of the
Yeah, actually there is another facility attached to the electron microscope. It is like XRD. It will analyze all the components. Yeah, what it will be there, it will be.
Usually it is present.
No, we have to buy this. We need some with the previous option you have to do. And the thing is only this, suppose if we are having something, if you want to analyze all the elements, even you can get the colored diagram. That will also be, you can say bioremediation if you are working, it will give you copper if you want to degrade, or some other chromium if you want to degrade, it will give a colored diagram also. So that is the yes, that also say for example, chromium is accumulated over the bacteria, then you will get all the chromium granules. If you want to stain red, you can click red color option. Say magnesium, if you put blue color option, like this green, then it will give a color chromatograph where it is over the bacteria. It is costly, but it is symbols coming in that option.
It will show the amount, that is percentage
Yes,
of the
percentage.
particular.
Yeah, that also is. If you have any samples, send it to me free of cost.
Cheers.
I can do it because the director of this center, she is my PhD student. It's a gap. After masters, she became a director. Now she is working with me. In August, there will be a I am writing her, correcting her thesis now at home. So I have a privilege to use anything without cost. My student now, so anything, even the technicians, they know if my sample is coming. They don't ask any money, but from some of my colleagues are sending, it will be sent back. You have to pay this much. Okay. So that privilege I have. Any faculty member, if you want to get a good SIM or even TEM, I can. TEM, that is in the College of Medicine, so that I can deal with my name and education.
Thank you, sir.
Anyone who want to go for biorefinery production, not like this one, that is. What can I say? Bioproducts, try to use any waste. Now, whatever the waste accumulated in your waste area, try to get a good product, then the research will be more attractive.
Recently, biofuel from Pune, did you hear about that? That is located on the side of one from Pune.
From?
Pune. From the seeds of the tree, they just directly
Yeah.
oil.
Yeah. Most probably it will be biodiesel. It will not be all the seeds are. But what I am saying, when you are getting the seeds, the thing is first you have to grow the plants. If you grow the plants, you need a field, land, certain land area. Then you have to grow the plants and wait for a long time. After it is coming for the seeding stage, you have to collect it, then crush it, collect it. But when you go with the microbes, no problem. If you have a small room or half of this, you can produce a plenty of plants. Yeah, plants, people are trained, being biotechnologists, we can go ahead with the microbes. That would be the.
And even from algae, kale.
Yeah, algae, lot of works are done. Even
we can use the same method to get biofuel.
Yeah, yes. Say for example, what I used, there are some of my students, they are working with algae, same methodology we follow. They are also getting about composition, I have shown with the company, everything. If you have GCMS, yes, you can do it. GCMS or GCFAD, if you have it, the extraction procedure, everything is same. It is plant or algae or bacteria, the procedure is same. Only the extraction, how to clean the cell, you have to have a different one. Other than this, once you are extracting, it's you have to make a fatty acid chemical distress. The methodology of this.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. If you don't have any questions, thank you. Thank you for listening almost.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing great information regarding.
I'm having immense pleasure to propose a vote of thanks on behalf of the Women Club of Biotechnology. First of all, I would like to thank our management and principal sir for their constant support and the encouragement for this program. And my heartfelt thanks to our chief guest, SivaKumar sir. Sir, we are inspired by your PowerPoint presentation, and the way which you have delivered the lecture is very excellent. And you are also interested in your research. Surely you will be getting help, I think so. And from this lecture, we can understand that how our HOD is expert in genetics and immunology. Because of this picture, I would like to thank our HOD sir for arranging such an eminent personality which is with us to share his research experience. And I would like to thank my colleagues for their support and constant work. I would like to thank the Department of Visual Communication for their photography. At last, I will thank our students of biotechnology for your stable and peace. Thank you. Thank you.